Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Detroit.
Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by
Bell Tire.
Last night, Miguel Cabrera delivered, and he delivered a big way. Not only did he hit the walk-off home run to get the Tigers the victory, it was home run number 452 in his career, tying him for 37th all-time on the Major League home run list. It is another nice night for baseball. Welcome to Comerica Park, Game 2 in this 4-game series featuring the Tigers and the Tampa Bay Rays. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Peppa alongside Rod Allen. We are glad to have you with us here for Game 2 in the series. And Rod, despite all of the big game last night and all the emotion of last night, we come to the ballpark today. Victor Martinez on the disabled list with an irregular heartbeat.
Yeah, I mean, all we can do now is pray for Victor and his family. You never want to hear any news like that regarding one of the players that you broadcast games for two. So we'll be praying for Victor Martinez. I know his teammates, they have heavy hearts as well. They'll go out and play a big league baseball game here tonight.
All right, Daniel Norris will take the mound for the Tigers. Typically, the Rays don't do very well against left-handed pitching. Hopefully, that'll help the Tigers tonight. But Daniel still needs to get deeper into games.
You know, I think tonight's going to be Daniel's coming out party. I mean, his skill set is supreme. He's got 4 pitches. He's got a fastball that gets up into the mid-90s. He's got the curve, slider, changeup mix. One of the things that he'll really have to watch against the Tampa Bay Rays, they like to run, so he'll have to shut the running game down. And they also want Daniel to pitch beyond the 5th inning. You can see we have the 5th inning highlighted there because that's the number that he usually gets to. He doesn't get beyond the 5th inning. But with his stuff, I know Brad and Rich Doobie, they're hoping that he can perform here tonight against a team, as you mentioned, that struggles against left-handed pitching. Let's hope Daniel goes out and gives them 7 innings here tonight.
All right, Game 2 in the series, minutes away. After a short break, we'll send you down to the Call Sam Studios. Check in with John Keating coming up in this one tonight. How about those Rays, man? They love hitting the long ball. They hit another one last night. The Rays have the 2nd most homers in Major League Baseball. Stay with us. Tigers, Rays, Game 2 next.
that the Rays offense was considered, I don't know, kind of cute, maybe kind of pesty, but now they're positively noisy. Steven Souza Jr. hit that rocket last night to tie the game. Logan Morrison has 19 homers this season. Like some of us, it's an imposing middle. Welcome back to the Call Sam studio. John Keating. Game time coming up on a Friday night downtown, and the Tigers tonight sort of playing through the absence of one of their leaders, Victor Martinez. He's been placed on the 10-day disabled list with that irregular heartbeat, causing all kinds of concerns in the Tigers clubhouse. Last word is that he still could be hospitalized through the evening tonight. John Hicks has been summoned from Toledo to take his place on the roster. Around all that news, Daniel Norris will try to go out and just get another win. He got the victory in Boston last weekend, allowing only 2 runs, but only throwing 5 innings. It was his first win since May 1st. Norris looking to go back-to-back. Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank, a part of Detroit and the community since 1849. And by Jeep. Test drive a Jeep brand vehicle at the Drive and Discover event going on now.
Takes the hill tonight for the Tigers. He is presented by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
And Daniel Norris got the win 5 days ago against the Boston Red Sox, even though he pitched just 5 innings in that game, gave up 5 runs in that contest. They're looking to get more length out of Daniel tonight. They'd like to see him pitch into the 7th inning this evening.
Here's the starting lineup he will face tonight, presented by your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. For the Rays this evening, their top 3 is Souza, Dickerson, Longoria. Middle of the lineup has Morrison, Beckham, and Smith.
Robertson, Sucre, and Borges rounded out for Kevin Cash. And we are ready for baseball here this evening as Steven Souza Jr. steps in. And the first pitch at tonight's ball game is up high. Souza batting .260, big home run in the ball game last night. Late tied it up before the Tigers eventually won. Way high from Norris. 2 balls and no strikes on the Rays leadoff man.
Souza's got a lot of pop in his bat. And that home run he hit last night against Rodriguez, nothing cheap about it. And really nothing cheap about all of his home runs this year.
A 2-0 pitch is fouled back out of play. 2-1.
2-0, 2-1, 3-1 are the counts that Daniel Norris must stay out of against this home run hitting team. They love to hit fastballs, and when Daniel falls behind, a lot of times he will challenge you with a fastball. So very important for him to work ahead this evening against this Tampa team to get to some of the off-speed pitches to keep him off balance like Verlander did in last night's contest.
Souza with 12 home runs, 39 driven in.
All 4 fastballs thrown so far by Norris up in the strike zone to Souza, all at 94 miles an hour. He's going to have to make an adjustment, and soon.
Dickerson to follow, then Longoria. JV pitching well enough to win last night despite the 5 walks. The 3-2 is fouled back out of play. Rays come in second in the major leagues in home runs. It's a Tampa team that in some ways is a kind of odd statistically because they hit a lot of homers, they strike out a lot, they walk a lot of everything here. And they have played good enough baseball to certainly remain in the race in that American League East. Again, the 3-2 bouncing ball left side, base hit out of the reach of Castellanos, and Souza is aboard with a leadoff single.
Let's take a look at the Tigers defensive alignment behind Daniel Norris this evening. Left to right, they've got Upton, they've got Presley, they've got Martinez in the outfield, Castellanos, Iglesias, Kinsler, Avila in the infield. Miguel Cabrera, he's a designated hitter here tonight, and which means James McCann has the assignment of putting down the fingers for Daniel.
Corey Dickerson will DH in the ball game here tonight, and he is batting again in the 2-hole. Leads the American League in hits. He was 1 for 5 in last night's game.
He has been outstanding this year against left-handed pitching. Lots of base hits the opposite way against left-handers for Dickerson this year.
Dickerson this season .345 versus left-handed pitching. He faced Justin Wilson, the left-hander, in the 9th inning last night and singled against him.
Yeah, he flipped a little single to left field. Doing better this year against lefties than right-handers. He really stays in there with that front shoulder against lefties. He doesn't bail out.
0-2.
Here's the base hit last night against Wilson. Similar type swing. Look at that front shoulder. It doesn't move at all. It's not a bad breaking ball. Just reaches out, pokes that ball in the left field. You got to show him something inside today. At least show him something inside to keep him off pitches like that.
15 home runs for Dickerson, 34 RBIs. Average well over 300. Swing and a miss. He went up top and struck him out. 95 up top, 1 away. The first strikeout for Daniel. Field conditions presented by Ace Hardware and the Scotts Company. It is 81 right now and cloudy. Had some rain earlier at the ballpark today, but hopefully that has moved out.
Yeah, good pitch here by Daniel Norris. 0-2 count. And you can see McCann basically standing up. Daniel was able to execute the pitch perfectly.
Here's the number 3 hitter, Evan Longoria.
So that's something that Daniel really has to work on. He really has to start to do a better job with the running game. When there's guys out there that have the ability to steal, they've kind of run at will against Norris. He does have 4 pickoffs this year, though.
chase him back again. Souza has stolen 3. He's been caught once this year. Infield fairly straight on Longoria. Avila playing first base tonight is Miggy DHs. And another toss. What is that now? 3 in a row to first base?
Yes, indeed. They must have an idea that Souza Jr. is going to try to get himself into scoring position.
69% for Norris. Stolen base attempts with the 4 pickoffs. There's a strike called. Not typically do you see a pitcher go over there 4 times, so I wonder why more teams don't run after that 3rd pickoff throw.
That's a good point. Bad Brad relaying these signs to James McCann. He's pretty much the one handling the running game, telling Norris when to throw over.
Longoria skies one in the air to left field, not deep. Upton charging, still coming. Foul ground, and J-Up makes a nice catch. He had to run a long way to get to that ball. 2 gone.
Yeah, Justin never took his eye off the wall, and he also knew that he was closing in on that chain link fence over there in foul territory, but able to make the play. No issues.
2 gone now for Logan Morrison. 19 home runs this year. Morrison, big game last night. Double RBI, couple of hits.
And Morrison not doing a whole lot with the batting average, but the OPS is very good. It's over 900. He's got quite a few home runs. The only one's hit more home runs is Aaron Judge of the Yankees in the American League.
Morrison against lefties this season, the average very low at 190.
And their team overall has lost 15 of 23 games so far this year against left-handed starters.
Here's the 1-0. 2-0 on Morrison. A modest 4-game hitting streak going. Logan's been around a while, a couple of different organizations.
Came up in the Marlins organization with Miguel Cabrera, and they were minor leaguers together.
Now the 2-0. That'll get back how to play. It was 2010 when Morrison got to the big leagues with the Marlins. Also spending a little time in Seattle, a couple of years. Career high is 23 home runs. Got a shot definitely to surpass that. He might even do it before the All-Star break. 2-1. Swing and a miss. 2-2 on Morrison. Beckham on deck. Leadoff single in this inning by Souza, but with 2 outs.
Daniel Norris really coming out here in the first frame, establishing his fastball. And most of the fastballs 94, 95. And Souza Jr. has a huge lead over at first base. What he's really trying to do is he really wants to see Daniel's best move. A lot of times guys will take huge leads at first, but they're not thinking about stealing the base. They're really anticipating you throwing over with your best move, and they're already leaning back toward first base.
Full count now, 3-2.
Well, Daniel's about to throw his 18th pitch of the inning, Mario, and that's really the thing that's hampered him all year. He's averaging 18 pitches or more per inning, and that's why the pitch count is always up to 95 and 100 when Daniel gets into the 5th inning. He needs to be somewhere around 13, 14 pitches per inning.
Runner will go on 3-2, and it is strike 3 called. Morrison caught looking with a breaking ball. A couple of strikeouts for Daniel Norris. So we go to the bottom of the first here at Comerica Park. Tigers starting lineup for this one presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. Kinsler getting set to lead things off. Avila is at first tonight, then Miggy. Martinez is batting cleanup. Upton, Castellanos, bottom 3. Presley, McCann, Iglesias. And they will square off against Erasmo Ramirez, presented tonight by MGM Grand Detroit.
And Ramirez making his 6th start here this evening. Checks in 2-1. He's got a fastball that gets up to about 92, 93 miles an hour. He cuts the fastball as well, but he really likes his curveball and his changeup. That's been his put-away pitch.
Well, teams typically have gotten to Ramirez early. In fact, he has allowed runs in 5 of 6 starts in the first inning. As a starter, that is, and he takes ball 1, does Kinsler. So we'll see if the Tigers can jump on Ramirez here early in this one.
Yeah, Ramirez works awfully quick, and he throws a lot of strikes.
Kinsler 1 out of 4 in the ball game last night. He sits safely now in 5 consecutive games.
And Tigers saw him earlier this year. It was in April down in Tampa. He threw a lot of off-speed pitches that evening at Tigers batters.
There's one right there. 1-2.
Here's where he'll try to sneak a fastball by you, though. At least he tried to in that first meeting of the year. He will try to sneak a fastball by you once he got ahead with 2 strikes.
Tigers pretty much had handled Ramirez prior to the last start when he gave up just the 1 run in 5 innings against Detroit.
He has pitched much better out of the bullpen this year for Tampa than he has as a starter.
Drilled to left field. That ball is hit well, and it's going to go. It's out of here. A leadoff home run for Ian Kinsler.
There's that first inning run that you were speaking of that Ramirez just always seems to give up.
Number 5 for Kinsler.
And Ian Kinsler had an idea that he was going to try to get to that changeup, but you can see that changeup tailing right into the barrel of Ian Kinsler's bat, and he hits it out of the ballpark. 84 miles an hour on that changeup. And Tigers understand what he tried to do to them last time in April, and they're going to be waiting for that changeup tonight.
Here is Avila settling into the batter's box. Another leadoff home run in Kinsler's career. And Avila shoots one up the middle. It's going to be backhanded by Beckham. Nice play, 1 gone.
Yeah, Beckham is the shortstop, and very athletic shortstop. He made that play look rather easy.
mention that Kinsler has 5 homers. That was his 3rd leadoff homer this year. We'll bring up Cabrera now. And Mickey's batting average starting to climb now. It's up to 280. Foul back out of play, 0-1.
And Brad Ausmus will get an opportunity to probably DH Miguel Cabrera quite a bit until Victor Martinez returns. And Miggy battling an assortment of different injuries. His back is bothering him, his groin, his hamstrings. And the big fella's all beat up right now, partner.
Little chopper to third, fouled. It was also told by Ausmus today that the hip was bothering Miguel Cabrera last night, more so than the back was. But you're right, it's been a litany of things for Miguel. But as Ausmus said, there are some players that maybe don't want to go out there and play hurt, but Cabrera's not one of them. Ramirez missing high, 1-2. Mickey in the month of June batting a solid .340. And that has pumped his average up. Here's the 1-2. Good pitch. Breaker on the outside corner, and Cabrera did not agree with the call. He simply drops the bat. Ed Hickok's your home plate ump tonight.
Let's take a look at the Rays starting defense, brought to you by Tim Hortons. In the outfield, they've got quite a bit of speed. They've got Borges, they've got Smith, they've got Souza Jr. Longoria, Beckham, Robertson, Morrison are in the infield, and Sucre is the catcher for the 2nd consecutive night.
Now JD Martinez steps in with 2 away, and JD takes a nice big hack, 0-1. They will play him to pull. We mentioned last time this Rays team, as much as anybody in the league, will shift on every single player.
Yeah, they and the Houston Astros are usually 1 and 2 in the amount of shifts every single year.
It's funny how some teams are, I guess they're into the analytics. Some teams are all in, and that would be Tampa.
Well, Tampa really has to be all in as far as an analytic standpoint because they don't have a huge payroll. They don't spend lots of money on free agents, and so therefore they have to obviously have a very strong farm system where they build kids through the minor leagues, but the players that they do bring to their system, and they look at lots of numbers to make sure those players really fit the style of baseball that they like to play in Tampa.
Here's the 1-2. Rolled foul at third base. JD last night, 2 more hits for the Tigers, 2 out of 4.
I mean, it's gotten to the point now where you have a couple of teams in the big leagues where the manager's not necessarily writing out the starting lineup. I mean, you have some starting lineups that are coming from upstairs because of the numbers.
Lifted back out of play. Well, Oakland, I think, is another team that relies heavily on the numbers.
Another team with a very low payroll. But now it's gotten to the point now where the teams that have big payrolls, they're into the analytics thing too.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out. A couple of strikeouts for Ramirez. Tigers get on the board. Ian Kinsler's 43rd career leadoff home run. And the Tigers lead 1-0.
Ian Kinsler with a home run to lead things off for the Tigers. Early lead for the Detroiters. It'll be Tim Beckham, then Malik Smith, and Daniel Robertson against Daniel Norris. First one slides in for a strike. 0-1 on Beckham.
Outstanding breaking ball there thrown by Norris. A curveball at 78 miles an hour. He also punched out Morrison with a breaking ball 3-2 pitch to end the inning.
That's into left center field. It'll get down a base hit. Up and quickly over there to cut it off, and a leadoff single for Beckham. By the way, stay tuned to Tigers Live. Following the game, we'll select the Fox Sports Detroit Tigers player of the game, presented by McDonald's. Stop by for your breakfast favorites, now being served all day.
And Beckham over at first base has 4 steals. He's been caught a couple of times, but I don't know if he'll be running here tonight. He missed a couple of games with a tender knee, so we'll see. This young man right here, he will bunt once or twice tonight, so Tigers defenders, they need to get ready.
Straight back for strike 1 on Malik Smith.
He's got tremendous speed, and he does have the ability to put the ball down on the ground pretty much whenever he wants to.
Smith replacing Kevin Kiermaier, who is placed on the disabled list and has done well since being called up. In fact, he has a 7-game hitting streak. .340 batting average for Smith. Again showing bunt. He'll drop it foul. Now the count is 0-2. Four bunt hits so far this year for Smith in limited playing time. No sack bunts.
Not afraid to put the ball down on the ground. And he's got outstanding speed. Puts a lot of pressure on the infielders to make clean plays and accurate throws when he puts the ball in play. Something else that he does with the middle infielders, he makes them play in a little further than they normally would be playing in double play depth, and because of his speed.
Second straight inning, the Rays have gotten a leadoff single. Now Norris ready with the 0-2. Smith wears the number 0. There aren't too many guys in the big leagues that do, and Malik says really no big story behind it. He just likes 0 because not many guys wear it, and it stands out. There's no special story behind it. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That's floated down the left field line, foul.
And take a look at this play here. It's Smith earlier this year. It's a bunt, and take a look how fast he gets down the line. And he's going from a standstill position. He wasn't running out of the batter's box. 3.5 seconds. I mean, when you have a guy, Mario, that's that fast, look at the infielders. I mean, you got guys moving all over the place. You got guys throwing the ball down the right field line. Once it goes down the right field line, this kid is off and moving, and he's thinking about scoring. He's the third base coach's dream.
The 1-2, runner goes, swing and a miss. Throw down to second is in time. Strike him out, throw him out. 2 gone.
That's a nice job there by McCann, and a really nice job by Iglesias. I mean, the throw carried Iglesias into the runner basically, and all Iggy had to do was let it travel, and then simply apply the tag to Beckham as he slid by.
Beckham not get a good jump there because he was up on mine.
Yeah, he did not get a pretty good jump in that particular count.
Robertson checks his swing, strike 1. So McCann throws out another. The third strikeout, by the way, for Norris. Pounded back out of play 0-2.
Here's his jump. Now, he didn't have a good jump, but take a look at Iglesias where he catches the ball. We'll give you a different look at it. See, this is where you catch it. Now all you got to do is just drop it down on the base runner.
'95 up and in, 1-2 the count on Robertson. Oh for 3 with an RBI last night, and that ball bounced well in front of the plate.
Yeah, Robertson had a difficult day defensively. They made 2 errors last night, and Robertson committed both of those. They were costly errors too.
Well, the second one came in the 7th inning on that ground ball that should have been out number 3 off the batter Victor Martinez, and it scored a run. Swing and a miss, and Norris records another strikeout, his 4th of the ball game.
I see you, Daniel.
This also helps. He goes strike him out, throw him out, and it's still 1-0 Detroit. Tigers lead the Rays 1-0, and don't forget the Tigers host the Rays tomorrow at 4:10. Former Tigers manager Jim Leland will take part in the pregame Q&A session at 2:45. Part of the Alumni Saturdays. For tickets, go to tigers.com. Get more information there, or if you'd like, 866-666-TIGER. And the skipper will be joining us in the booth tonight in the 4th inning. Can't wait for that.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
Skip never has anything interesting to say, does he?
Never.
Upton batting .261, tried to hold up, but he went. Jay Upton, Castellanos, and then Presley facing Erasmo Ramirez.
Yeah, Ramirez, usually when he falls behind, he will throw a cut fastball to the right-handed batters. He tries to stay off the barrel of the bat. He tries to cut the ball to the outside corner against righties.
Here's the 1-1. High towering drive to center field. Smith going back. He'll get under it. And one gone. Checking now with Matt Shepard, who caught up with the skipper before the game today.
You know, I saw him earlier today, and he obviously has been watching you guys as always, because he loves watching you guys. He also had some harsh advice for me on my throwing, because that took place in Game 1 against Arizona. He was ripping on my delivery.
Really?
Yeah, he said you got a little bit of a slider to you, don't you? I said, are you kidding me? I have no idea what I'm throwing. I'm just trying to make sure I don't get out of there with a broken wing. So he had some pretty good fun at my expense, but I look forward to seeing him up here.
Hey, Shep, where do we show him your swing though when he comes up here?
Please don't do that.
Let me get
Come
this
on,
straight.
I'll never hear the end of it from him.
Oh, we're going to show him your swing now
He
when he
made
gets up
fun
here.
of your arm, but didn't make fun of your swing?
He didn't see the swing yet.
No, I guess he figured you did that in just fine instead of him. You know, with the bucket, foot in the bucket,
That's
which
right.
I will contest to this day. That was not necessarily true, my friend.
All right, Shep, thanks. Well, we certainly look forward to the skipper joining us in the 4th, so stay tuned for that. Castellanos, the batter. Tigers lead 1-0 on the Kinsler homer.
I told you earlier that Ramirez throws lots of strikes. And whether it's his fastball that gets up to about 92 or the cutter anywhere from 85 to 87, his curveball and his changeup, he fills up the strike zone with lots of quality pitches to hit.
High fly ball left center field. Ball's hit pretty well. It's going to go to the warning track and caught there by Borges.
The Tigers have already hit one changeup out today, and Nicholas nearly hit another one out of the ballpark.
That'll bring up Alex Presley now with 2 away. Presley, another start in center field. Alex played last night as well, was 1 for 4, batting a solid .281. And he'll pull that one right to first, and a backhanded play by Morrison, and he slides into the bag for the out.
I thought he caught it.
Dangerous play by Morrison, but he slides in there before Presley. It'll be a 1-2-3 inning for Ramirez. Now for the Bernstein advantage, we touched on this a little bit earlier. The Rays are batting only .223 versus left-handed pitching this year, which should give Mr. Norris an advantage tonight.
And so far, Daniel has kind of had his way with the Tampa Rays through the first couple of frames. 4 strikeouts, and they only needed 12 pitches to retire the side in the second inning, so that's a real positive.
Jesus Sucre leading it off. He is the number 8 hitter and the catcher. It'll be Sucre, Borges. Then back up top to Souza. Daniel missing outside. 2 balls and 1 strike.
And Daniel has a really good feel for his breaking pitch today. I don't know if he'll throw it here to Sucre, but he's not afraid to throw it.
94 on the gun there. Came in with a fastball, fouled back 2-2.
Daniel's got some sweet spikes on tonight, doesn't he?
You know, not only that, but I love the way he wears his socks.
Spikes.
I love the white stripes.
I mean, he got some spats on. Clean. Look at the toe.
Full count, 3-2 on Sucre.
Got the old school stripes on the stirrups, the socks rather. I could see you in a pair of those.
I could too. Full count pitch. Fouled away. Sucre 231. They got him batting in the 8th spot here tonight. He was batting 9th in the ball game last night. Most of his RBIs have been hit out of the 9-hole in the line. In fact, only Iglesias has more RBIs in the 9th spot than Sucre. And there is strike 3.
Another breaking ball, another curveball, and a beauty. And the Daniel lands in there for strike 3.
It'll bring up Peter Borges with 1 out. 5 punch outs now for Norris.
He has struck out 4 of the last 5 batters.
4 of them on the breaking ball tonight from Norris. Daniel's strikeout high this year is 8. He's done that a couple of times.
Pretty good shot to fly right by that tonight, the way he's throwing the baseball. Daniel got a haircut too. I mean, he cut it all off.
Well, you're getting deep into the summer months now, or at least we're starting to. In the month of June, then July gets really hot, humid. Just much simpler this way. .40 now for Norris. 26 strikes. The 2-1. Hammer to right center field. That looks like trouble. JD is not going to be able to get it. And it's going to bounce off the top of the wall. He's going to try for 3. Here comes the throw. It's cut off. And that'll be a 1-out triple for Borges. With his speed, once he got that ball to land on the grass out there, he was off to the races.
Well, that's triples alley anywhere up there against the out-of-town scoreboard. And this is why Daniel has to stay out of friendly fastball counts. It's a 2-1 fastball, and even though it's in the mid-90s, it's whistled off that out-of-town scoreboard by Borges. And watch him run. He's always been a really fast runner.
It'll be the 3rd Rays hit of the game. They've got the tying run at 3rd with 1 out. Tigers have elected to pull the infield in.
It's a good play here to bring the infield in.
Souza, the batter. Swing and a miss.
Good pitch. Good changeup. And you know that Souza up there looking for a fastball, something that he can get up in the air. And Daniel actually flipped a breaking ball up there. Initially, I thought it was a changeup.
Souza had a single in the 1st. That'll bust to inside.
Good pitch. 94 inside after the first pitch curveball. You might want to go back in there with another fastball, because in the back of the mind of Souza Jr., he's looking for something off speed right now. If he was to throw him a fastball, he probably would get strike 2 without Souza swinging at it.
Bouncing ball left side. Castellanos could have come home with it. Throw is off target. It gets by McCann, and Souza will go to second base. We have a tie ball game.
Well, if Castellanos could do it all over again, he would simply take his out at first base, especially with Borges running from 3rd. Borges has good speed, and Borges also was coming on contact. And you see Borges at 3rd. As soon as the ball goes down on the ground, he's running. And Castellanos with an errant throw that McCann could not make a play on.
Now they're checking the runner out there at second base. Souza being visited by their trainer. Appears to be okay. 1-1 ball game. Middle goes the fielder's choice, an RBI and an E5.
I think he stumbled around first base when he was looking at the ball. It's lucky he didn't twist his ankle.
'40th RBI of the year for Souza. Now the Rays have a chance to grab the lead here with a base hit. Dickerson struck out in his first at bat. 88 hits, leads the American League for Dickerson. And a wave and a miss. 0-2.
He has not been able to catch up to the Norris fastball upstairs. Norris struck him out in the first inning on a fastball up and inside.
The 0-2. Laid off, missed high and away. Dickerson broke in with the Rockies. Last year was his first year in Tampa. Jake McGee went the other way. Now Norris ready with the 1-2. Lifted back out of play.
And he talked about where Daniel Norris is trying to get Dickerson out. And you've got to tie him up inside. You can see 231, 286, 214. Those are on the inside part of the plate. When he's able to extend his arms and balls away from him, he's done a whole lot of damage this year. There's a whole lot of red on the Dickerson hit zone. Might see another fastball inside here to try to tie him up again in one of those cold zones.
Stayed away. 2-2. One out triple by Borges.
And the last thing you want to do here is you don't want to give Dickerson the idea that you will not go back inside again. And even if you make a good pitch away from him, the way that he's swinging the bat this year, he might still have an opportunity of putting it in play the opposite way if he has no fear of you coming inside.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Another big strikeout for Norris, and that'll be the second time he's gotten Dickerson and his 6th overall in this game. Check in with Craig Monroe's hanging out in the Chevy Pavilion, Simo.
Yes, sir, guys. Listen, I found my way to the Chevy Pavilion, hanging out, met a few friends. I think they all want to say hello to y'all. Can y'all say hi? I've never met a stranger, so I feel at home here in left field, hanging out with my fans, my people out here, guys. This has been a good time. And we're going to hang out. We're going to sign some autographs. I've taken a bunch of selfies, signing autographs. I think I've got a couple more right here. These young men and women are hanging out with me right now. So
what is it, Chevy Lounge?
Well, no, it's the Chevy Pavilion. It's the Chevy Pavilion.
Yeah?
It's nice. It's really nice. You see all the people, they're excited. They're having fun, enjoying themselves.
Of course, left field is the second home of Craig Monroe, who patrolled left field here for years.
I feel right at home, guys.
Absolutely. Here's the 1-0 to Longoria, and he'll look at a ball low, 2-0. Simo, bring your Sharpie out there with you?
He's not going nowhere.
He's got to be signing autographs now.
Absolutely.
2-0 on Longoria. And he popped him up shallow right field, and that's going to be Kinsler to make the play. Side retired. Look at Simo, man, take the selfies.
Kissing baby.
Comerica Park. James McCann probably would not be starting tonight behind the plate because of a righty, but because Victor Martinez remains in the hospital, he is pushed into catching duties. Alex Avila at first base and Miguel Cabrera the designated hitter. Victor Martinez was breaking out in a cold sweat, had some dizziness last night, tried to play through it, and then was pulled in the 7th, stayed in the hospital last night, was in the hospital earlier today with an irregular heartbeat. Mario Impemba, he's on the 10-day DL. John Hicks has been called up, but our best wishes going out to Victor Martinez if he's watching here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely, Shep. Thanks very much. Tigers certainly want him back as quickly as possible. Hopefully it'll be no more than the 10-day DL, but as Brad said before the game today, we'll know more tomorrow, and hopefully we'll be able to pass along some info to you. But our best thoughts and wishes to Victor. Here's a fly ball to right field. It's going to be playable. Steven Souza hauls it in, and McCann is out. One gone. By the way, if the Tigers combine for 3 or more home runs in this game, bring a copy of the box score to a participating Arby's location tomorrow. You get yourself a free small order of curly fries. We are a third of the way there thanks to the Kinsler home run in the first inning.
And Jose Iglesias the entire month of June, and batting nearly 400. He's been getting 2 hits a night.
He'll go you one better. He's been he has had 7 3-hit games already this year, and that average at one point was sub 200, but his recent hot streak has gotten it up to 268, which is pretty good. It'll roll foul. 0-2 now on Iglesias. Certainly it's been the total package offensively and defensively here in the month of June. Now Ramirez with the 0-2. Rolled foul. Tigers got a run in the first. Rays have tied it up with a run in the third. The 0-2. Just a tad low from Ramirez. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And told you earlier that Ramirez, once he gets 2 strikes on you, sometimes he will not throw you that changeup or the breaking ball. He will simply try to sneak a fastball by you. And they might go back-to-back fastballs here to Iglesias.
Bouncer up the middle. Beckham ranging left. Quick throw is in time. Got him by half a step.
Let's take a look at our Bell Tire pitch by pitch. Let's flash back to April. Ian Kinsler saw 3 pitches from Ramirez. 0-2 count, little breaking ball. Lead-off home run by Ian Kinsler. And then tonight, if you're just joining us, Ian Kinsler saw a few more pitches, but he knew that Ramirez eventually was going to try to get to the changeup, which he tried to get to, and it was sitting right there on a tee for Ian Kinsler, and he hits another home run against Ramirez. 2 lead-off big flies this year for Kinsler against Ramirez.
'43rd career leadoff home run, the 6th most in Major League Baseball history. Ian's home run was his 5th of the year. They played a pull on the infield, shifting to the left side. Now Ramirez, after giving up that home run to Kinsler, is now retired 8 straight.
He throws a lot of strikes and moves the ball around. Works all 4 quadrants of the strike zone with that fastball on the top side at about 91.
This Norris Ramirez matchup here tonight was the same matchup we saw back in Tampa in April to close out the series at Tropicana Field. And Ramirez got the better of that matchup. Here's the 0-2. Yank foul right by Dave Clark.
It's a nice job of calling a game by Sucre, the catcher. He knows that there's already been a couple of home runs hit by Kinsler on a breaking ball and a changeup against Ramirez, so they've stayed with the fastball at least so far in the 3 pitches that Ian has seen. Gonna go with another fastball here.
Line drive right to Beckham. That'll be a 1-2-3 inning. When we come back, top of the 4th on the way, and so is Jim Leland. The skipper is in town. We'll chat with Jim right after this. 1 ball game. Tigers and the Rays here at Comerica Park. Mario and Rod, along with a very special guest, Jim Leland, is joining us here in the booth this evening. The old skipper back in town for the Alumni Saturdays. And Skip, you'll have a chance to meet with the fans tomorrow here at the ballpark, and I'm sure 06 will be a subject. 2012 will be one of the subjects, but I'm sure you're looking forward to it.
Yeah, I am. I actually met with a lot of them tonight. I had a signing downstairs, and I had a pretty big line there. I had a lot of conversation with a lot of the fans. I really enjoyed it. It's great to be back.
Jim, what are you doing with yourself these days? I mean, I know you do some work for the Tigers and you go out and see some of the minor league affiliates, but overall, what's been your role with the Tigers last couple of years?
Well, I've been in the area already, and I was in Toledo. In fact, I was in Toledo last night, and I'll be going around to some of the other clubs as well as doing some work with the commissioner. So keeps you pretty busy. I actually had the pleasure of just going to the draft in New Jersey. MLB Network and announced our #2 pick. Al and David Chad had asked me to go there represent the Tigers, which Tram did last year there with Murray Cook. Really enjoyed it. It was very interesting.
And Logan Morrison leading it off takes a ball high. Now, have you spent any time touring the country with the WBC trophy, polishing it up and taking it from town to town?
No, they only let me hold that for about 5 seconds, and they took it from me. But I really enjoyed that experience. It was terrific. We had the right players, and obviously we were fortunate enough to do pretty well.
See, what do you think about this edition of the Tigers? Obviously, folks a little bit disappointed right now, but a big win last night on the Cabrera home run. Going forward here, what do you see?
Well, to be honest with you, what I really liked, I liked the tonic that I saw the last couple of nights, and that was Verlander going 7, Zimmerman going 8. If we can continue to get that and get our starting pitchers to give us more innings with less pitches, I think this Tiger club has a chance to go a long way. I really like this club. I still like it. Everybody's finding out that it's not that easy to win. Cleveland, an excellent ball club, last year's champion, struggling a little bit. Kansas City started out slow. Minnesota, big surprise. Good for them. But I really like this. But I think the best tonic so far that I've seen this season was the last 2 starts by Zimmerman and Verlander, because they got the innings.
Jim, you talked about pitch management, and obviously that's been an issue with Daniel Norris. I mean, as far as stuff is concerned, I mean, he's got great stuff. I mean, this guy could be a big winner in the big leagues, but what is it going to take for Daniel to limit the amount of pitches he throws to get to 5 innings?
Well, I think from what I see, there's too many times when he's fighting to throw a strike, and there's a difference between a strike and a quality strike. I think, if he harnesses this stuff, he has a chance to be a huge winner. He's got electric stuff, but he throws, in my opinion, too many pitches that hitters recognize so fast that they're not close enough to even bite on, and take a shot at it. So when he harnesses that, he's got a chance to be a huge winner. He's got electric stuff.
How happy are you for Alex Avila and what he has been able to do in his second tour of duty here as a Tiger? I know you managed him, and I know he was very fond of you.
Well, I'm so happy. I'm so happy for both Alex and his dad. Because, that was probably a risky sign, and Al took that shot because, you know what, he was the best guy for this situation, to fill in behind James, and now he's playing a little bit more, obviously. But I think the biggest thing with Alex is he still has a great eye and everything, but he's being more aggressive on pitches. I've seen him in the last 10 days swing at 2, 3, and 0 pitches. The aggressive swings, and they were probably actually balls, but at least he had aggressive swings, and I think when he's getting pitches in the strike zone, he's being more aggressive, and he's not missing them. I think so. I'm thrilled with what's going on with him.
Jim, I think for a lot of folks around here, the 06 season really kind of stands out. You brought the team from nowhere to the World Series, and I remember that 3-game series against the Cubs in Chicago. You swept that series in Chicago. Tiger fans came out in droves, and you got to 20 over 500 at that point. Was that the point of that season where maybe you felt, yeah, we could do something special this year?
Yeah, I think that's probably true. And I think one of the biggest things that I remember through 2006 is, we had Tiger fans travel well. I live in Pittsburgh. They talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers traveling well. I'll never forget Wrigley Field. There might have been more Tiger fans in Wrigley Field that series than there were Cub fans. And I'll never forget that. Everywhere we went, pretty much, we had a following. Tiger fans were everywhere. They were in Cleveland all the time. They were in Chicago all the time. It was remarkable, but I had a pretty good feeling about that club. But I had a pretty good feeling about that team when I took the job. I knew that was a talented team.
What was your message, Jim, before that season started? Did you write each player a letter telling them that you wanted them to be more like the Yankees and take the field like the Yankees with that kind of personality and that kind of swagger? Was it a letter, or did you deliver that kind of message verbally to your guys
well, to be honest
before
with you,
that season?
Well, to be honest with you, I called a lot of guys, and I talked to them personally. And, you know, I think it worked out pretty well. But what I wanted to do was I did mention that. There's no question about it. I did have a letter. As well as some conversation with them, but I really truly believe that if you watch the Yankees take the field, not cocky, but they had a swagger about them. They had an air of confidence about them. This Tiger team was very talented, and they just, you know, like I said, you needed to turn that talent into a team, and the guys themselves did it. It wasn't what I did; it was what the guys did. They all got together. They realized they were good. They started believing in themselves, and you can get a lot of things accomplished when people believe in themselves.
You know, there's a guy that's very fond of you. His name is Craig Monroe. He's hanging out with us here tonight. Simo, what do you got for the skipper here this evening?
Well, Skip makes a great point, man. We felt like we had some talent, but make no mistake about it, having Skip there, believing in us and pushing us and allowing us to be ourselves and to go out and play the game. He said, go out and play the game the right way. Play it hard. And he said, I'll take my chances with this team. I'll take my chances with you guys if you go out and you give me 9 hard, full innings. And by God, that's what we did, and it was a special, special time. I have a special relationship with the old skipper.
I appreciate that.
Skip, he had a couple of home runs that were pretty big for you in the postseason, didn't he?
He did, but I'll tell you what, I thought he hit one of the biggest home runs during the regular season. I'll never forget it. Second game of a doubleheader in New York.
Yes, it
I
was.
think we won 3-1, and he hit a home run in about the 8th inning, 7th or 8th inning. I want to say the 8th.
And we were scuffling at that time too.
Oh, we were struggling, and he hit a huge home run to left field in that game. One of the biggest home runs during the regular season that year. There was no question about that.
There's a soft line drive to right field. That'll drop in, a base hit. Morrison rumbling around third base. He will score. It'll be an RBI single for Daniel Robertson, and the Rays have a 2-1 lead.
It's one thing about this Tampa team, man. They just don't quit. They hit home runs, they strike out, they walk a lot, and they give you a quality plate appearance with runners in scoring position most of the time.
You know, they lay down there in that Eastern Division kind of quietly. They're a pretty good team. They've hit a lot of home runs this year. They've got some good pitching, good starting pitching, and they're kind of quietly a very good club. I think they get lost, you know, between, you know, the Yankees and Boston and Baltimore. They get lost a little bit, but this is a very talented team.
Jim, this is where Norris kind of gets in trouble. At least once or twice a game, we'll have a 30-pitch inning, and he just can't stop the bleeding. When you have a young pitcher, I mean, what's the one thing, the one message that you have to give him in these type of situations?
Well, I think the biggest thing is you have to tell him to slow down, not speed up. Guys get anxious when they get into trouble. They can't wait to get the out. They want to get the out before they throw the pitch. You can't do that. You got to slow down. You know, gather yourself, try to eliminate too much damage. You know, make your pitches. You know, don't get starstruck by who's coming up. Just make your pitches, but slow down, back off, and relax.
Sucre, the batter now, with runners at first and third. Well, Jim, one of the big things we often show was back in 2013 when you did a little moonwalk, and that was in Minnesota, and you were putting on a show that day. That was pretty good. Now, obviously, it's a great time. You clinched the division. You were going to the postseason, but that moonwalk was something special.
Well, my knees are paying for it yet today. I got arthritic knees, so I don't know how good the moonwalk was, but it was a lot of fun. I'll never forget Torrey Hunter carrying me into the celebration. You know, I always kind of let the clubhouse was theirs, and you know, the coaches always kind of celebrated in my room, and we were doing that, you know, and Craig, Torrey came in and got me and made me a part of it. So I thought, well, I'll put a little show on for the boys, let them know I got a little spunk yet.
You sure did put on the show for him.
You had the finger guns going as well. That was pretty special.
Yeah, I hear you.
You know, you had a really good stretch here, Skip. I mean, starting in 06, we talked about the World Series in 2012, playoffs again in 2013, and you know, when I look back at that 2013 team, I know there were bad memories toward the end, but man, that team to me seemed like it was best equipped to win a World Series.
I don't disagree with that at all. I think it was. We had really good pitching that year. We probably let one get away, and you know, it was a shame that we did. But you know, my memories here are what I enjoyed coming back so much, and I don't come back very much because it's not my show anymore. But the thing that I really remember.
Oh, he's going to try and steal home on the pickoff throw. The throw is in time. Smith tried to catch him napping, and he's thrown out at home plate.
Outstanding job by Avila. Avila had an idea, because he's a catcher. He's got great court awareness while he's on the baseball field. He had an idea by watching Smith and he knew he was entertaining the thought of trying to steal home plate. So he grabs it, fires a strike to McCann, and McCann able to apply the tag. That's good heads-up play by Avila, Jim.
Oh, yeah, it was a great play. You know, but anyway, going back to what I was saying, I think the thing that I love the best is we had our team, and I always believed that what we had inside that clubhouse was what we had. But you know what? The fans of Detroit were really a part of that team. They really picked up on that team, and we became like partners. It was just one big happy family. People were enjoying it, players were enjoying it, fans were enjoying it. I'll never forget that, and I'll always appreciate that as a manager, because I thought that it, you know, I'm proud to say I thought it really kind of brought the city together a little bit. It brought Tiger baseball a little bit, and to be a very small part of that, I'm very happy about that.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but the reason you came to Detroit in big part or in large part was the support here and the fans here.
There's no question about it. I've been on record several times as saying that I truly believe that St. Louis Cardinal fans and the Detroit Tiger fans are the most knowledgeable fans in baseball. I really believe that. They may get somewhere else, but they're very knowledgeable fans here, as they are in St. Louis. And I think they're the two best baseball towns in the game.
What do you think on this call, Jim? Did it look like he got in there?
I'm thinking he's safe. I hate to say it because, but I think he made it.
Yeah, it looks like he made it.
Unless the hand's up in the air. I'm not sure if the hand may be up in the air.
It's a great call. Jim, speak for a moment on your relationship with Mr. Ilitch. Of course, he passed away a little earlier this year. I don't think we've had a chance to really talk to you since then, but just how special was he to you and the things that he did for you while you were managing the club here?
He treated me unbelievable, and it sounds kind of corny, but we didn't really have a relationship, but we had a great relationship. I talked to him very few times in the 8 years I managed here. He always gave us what we felt we needed. Obviously, you know, he wasn't afraid to open up the checkbook and get players. He wanted a championship. But the thing I liked the most about Mr. Ilitch is not one time did he ever call my office and interfere as far as a lineup or why are you playing this guy, or now I'm sure he might have talked to Dave Dombrowski and said, what's your manager doing? But he never interfered. He was absolutely fantastic to work for. He's safe.
Now they called him out.
Oh, they did?
They did call him out.
Oh, yep. I thought he signaled safe.
Nope, they called him out. So a heads-up play by Avila.
Good.
And that sticks. So there are 2 outs. Smith tried to catch him napping, but he was thrown out by Avila.
The thing about that play is that Daniel continued to throw over to first base, and Avila continued to watch Smith at third base. He had an idea with the speed that Smith has and his reckless abandonment that he runs the bases with, that he was going to try to steal home plate, and Avila was heads up. He didn't even try to apply the tag to the base runner.
I think you know, I like aggressive play, but in my opinion, that play, if that play would have been with 2 outs, I think it's a good play. But with 1 out where a sacrifice fly scores the run, I'm not sure it's a good play.
1, 2, 3 on the put out, and the caught stealing.
And who are we to disagree with the skipper?
Well, no, I mean, sac fly to get a run. You know, if you got 2 outs, you take a shot.
Another toss to first.
I got to ask you too, man. I kind of like them shorts you got on, man.
How about those babies?
That color, man. I mean,
pretty sharp, ain't they?
Man, what can I need to get me a pair of them, man.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, they're.
Everybody can't do that, Jim.
No.
Huh?
No. They're dandies.
Jim's looking so much more relaxed.
He
these
said
days.
they're dandies.
Here's the 1-2. And it's fouled back out of play.
Bet your golf game's good too now, isn't it?
No, it's not good, but I love to play, and I have some friends in Pittsburgh that I play with, and I'm going to play in Joe Torre's tournament. I'm going to play in Alex Pujols' tournament, Albert Pujols' tournament this year. So, you know, it's fun, but I'm not a good player.
How's the family? How's Patrick doing?
Everybody's doing great. Good. Thank you. Everybody is doing wonderful.
Here's the 1-2 now to Sucre. And a wave and a miss. Down he goes. That'll end the inning. So Norris limits the damage. Jim, always a pleasure. Have fun tomorrow and Alumni Saturday. And thanks for stopping up.
Oh, thank you guys for having me.
Right.
Enjoy it.
You're
Thank
the
you.
greatest. Jim Leyland.
I enjoy the broadcast. I watch it all the time.
Thanks, buddy.
Appreciate you.
4th, and tonight we participate in the Home Run Challenge. Every home run and strikeout in the game raises money for prostate cancer research. Since June 1st, over $3.3 million has been raised in the challenge. You can make a pledge by going to homerunchallenge.org. Well, the Tigers have a little bit of work to do now. They're down by a run, and for the Tigers, it'll be Avila, Cabrera, and J.D. Martinez facing Erasmo Ramirez, who delivers a strike. After giving up a home run to Kinsler in the first, Ramirez has retired 9 straight. Avila a ground out in the first inning. Here's the 0-1. It'll bounce in, 1 ball and 1 strike. And again, our thanks to Jim Leland for stopping up to the booth.
Skipper looks good, doesn't he?
Looks great. And you know, we talked about the fact that once he stopped managing beginning in 2014, he had a chance to kind of catch up with the family, and as you mentioned, work on his golf game, and just looks a lot more relaxed these days.
He's got a couple different gigs, works for the commissioner and he works for the Tigers, so he stays awfully busy.
Two and one on Avila. Infield playing to pull to the right side against Alex. Lifted in the air to left field and hit well. Borges on the move to the wall and gone. A home run. Another opposite field home run for Avila. Two ball game. The deficit did not last very long. Man, is he having a year. Homer number 10 now for Alex Avila.
Avila now has 4 home runs to left field. I mean, he is generating a lot of power in the opposite way.
Miggy looks at ball 2 outside. Couple of solo home runs tonight. Kinsler, now Alex.
And looked like a little cut fastball that he tried to get on the outside part of the plate. Avila was sitting there waiting for him, and he flipped it the opposite way. And Borges ran out of room. He hit that over the Tigers bullpen.
It'll stop the string of 9 consecutive batters retired by Ramirez.
He made a really nice play defensively to catch Smith trying to steal home plate. And then he's leading off the next inning and he hits a home run.
Miggy struck out in the first. And a ball outside. He'll lose him on 4 straight. It'll be his first walk of the game. Now J.D. Martinez. Strikeout victim his first time up.
Yeah, a huge hole on the right side of the infield for J.D. Martinez, but he's not necessarily trying to hit a ground ball through that hole. And he's trying to get the ball airborne.
Bouncing ball, base hit, right field. So much for that. A single the opposite way, and the Tigers now have runners at first and second.
I remember having a conversation with Miguel Cabrera in spring training, and he told me that as soon as J.D. Martinez starts to beat the shift in this fashion, taking base hits the other way when they're clearly giving him a base hit, he will start to hit 300 and he will drive in 100 runs every year.
Now we'll get a meeting on the mound. Haven't had too many of those for Ramirez, who has been awfully good tonight, but now he's run into some major trouble here in the 4th. J.D. single has given the Tigers their 3rd hit of the game. Here is Upton, who fly to center field in his only at bat.
And Justin knows at some point in time he's going to get either that curveball or that changeup from Ramirez. That's exactly what he's done to him every single time he's faced him.
Jay up this year with 13 home runs. And that remains the highest total on the Tigers team, although Avila's starting to catch up. Number 10 for Alex. Here's the 1-0.
Did you have Avila today and pick the stick?
No, Shep took him.
Shep took him?
And I asked Shep if he'd give me half of that home run, but he declined.
He declined.
Because they had Avila last night.
He's all smiles.
Just the way Shep is. Here's the 1-1. Driven to center field. Straight at Smith, who misplayed it. It's going to go to the wall. Here comes Cabrera. They're going to send him home. JD is stopped at third, and the Tigers have the lead.
You can see Smith out in center field, and this is an absolute bullet right off the bat of Justin Upton. He pauses momentarily, and the ball had so much backspin, so much carry, it carried over his head. Once he started to backpedal, he got on his heels, and there was absolutely no way he was going to make that play.
But I actually got a really good look at it. Smith took that false step in, and the ball was hit. It was absolutely hammered. It's one of the toughest balls for an outfielder to judge. He took that false step in, and he was not able to recover. It works out in the Tigers' favor. Jay Up continues swinging the bat extremely well.
Simo, what are you supposed to do on that play as a center fielder?
Well, you have to freeze, and I think again, if you freeze, you can tell that that ball had some backspin on it, and you immediately put your head down those first 3 steps hard, and then try to find the baseball. Smith wasn't able to do that. Again, he took that false step in, and when you do that, that's going to cost you.
It looked like once he got on his heels, he was not going to be able to turn around and run and use his speed and athleticism to help him make that play.
Really, for me, when the ball is hit.
That is a fair ball down the left field line. This will get in 2 more. Martinez and Upton come around and score double 2 RBIs for Castellanos.
Another off-speed pitch here thrown from Ramirez, and there's Nicholas sitting there waiting for it. He hits the ball right down the left field line. And down in the left field corner, Justin Upton, after the double, able to jog home with the 4th run of the evening for the Tigers. Excuse me, the 5th run of the evening.
Boys are putting together some solid at-bats. I love the direction of their hits. Jay Up going to center, JD going the opposite way. Avila, opposite field home run.
In the grand scheme of things, the J.D. Martinez at-bat might be the most impressive at-bat of the inning if he was trying to shoot that hole on the right side of the infield. That's just an unselfish at-bat.
Presley, the batter. A ground out 0 for 1 in the ball game for Presley.
And Presley's got a job to do here. There's nobody out. There's a runner on second base. Either he has to bunt the ball on the ground to get Castellanos to third, or hit something to the right side of the infield on the ground.
The 5 earned runs allowed is a season high for Erasmo Ramirez.
He really hasn't pitched all that well in his last 4 outings. He's been giving up quite a few runs, Ramirez.
Tigers now have 5 hits, 5 runs on 5 hits. Here's the 2-0. Snap throw back down to second, and Castellanos gets back in.
Not only that, Mario, but 4 of the Tigers' 5 hits today have gone for extra bases. A couple of homers and a couple of doubles.
Smiles right now on the Tigers bench. McCann on deck. And a strike on the outer edge. 3-1 now on Presley. Rays have lost 6 of their last 8 on the road, and the starters in that stretch have an ERA of better than 6, so that's one of the main reasons why. Ramirez was cruising until this 4th inning. Right back up the middle. Diving stop at second. Robertson's thrown out in time. Everybody is safe.
Tigers have 4 hits in a row.
Still nobody out. Hey, just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Six Tigers hits. 5 of them in this inning, and they also have a walk.
And there's no one out, and the Rays have no activity in their bullpen.
That may be changing soon.
It should be changing soon.
6 straight have reached. McCann flat out to left, his only time up. Infield pulling to the left side. And James looks at a strike. 0-1. This is the first start for McCann since June 11th. Vila has been so hot. They've not been able to take Alex out of the lineup. And with Martinez on the DL now, both are playing. It was Avila that got it going with the home run to start this inning. Keep an eye on Presley. He can run a little bit. 2 out of 2 this year in steals.
Guys, I feel like this is a big at bat for James McCann here. He's got the infield back, situational hitting. He's got to look for a pitch up, use the big part of the field, and hit a fly ball and drive in Nick Castellanos from third.
1 ball and 1 strike. It's had been a little bit tough on McCann, fellas. The fact that Avila kind of re-grabbed that catching position before the Martinez injury, and James kind of has had to take a little bit of a back seat.
Well, and he's fighting for at-bats right now. And it's not one of those situations where if you go 0 for 4, 0 for 8, you're guaranteed to play the next day.
High fly ball to right. Souza measures it. Runner tagging at third. Castellanos coming home, and the ball is cut off.
That's a beautiful job of hitting there by James McCann.
Sac fly and an RBI for McCann. He's driven in his 18th of the year. Hey, this Sunday, the Tigers take on the Rays at 1:10. All men receive a free pair of Tigers Father's Day socks. If you'd like tickets, go to Tigers.com or call 866-66-TIGERS.
They brought some socks up here yesterday, Simo, for you to wear on Father's Day.
I'm all over it.
I know you are.
1 away now for Iglesias. A 5-run 4th for the Tigers has broken it open a bit. There's a strikeout, Iglesias. Iggy 0 for 1 with the ground out. He has a 6-game hitting streak going. Ramirez this year has been much better out of the bullpen than he has been in the rotation. ERA as a starter is over 5, and he's allowed 6 in this game already.
Again to right field, Souza had him played shallow going toward the corner. Makes the play in foul ground. Presley tagging, and he'll get the second. 2 away.
And fan almost reached over and got in the way of Souza there.
Souza just stared it down instead of throwing the ball back in.
And that's why Presley was able to get to second base.
It's a base running there, though, Rod Mario.
Yes, it is. Good base running.
Getting himself in score position. Come on, Kins. Drive him in.
Tigers in search of a 2-out hit. Driven to center. Smith on the move. He's got this one to end the inning, but a big inning for the Tigers. It all started with an Avila home run, and by the time it was over, the Tigers scored 5. Here's the view from left field, the Chevy Pavilion where our man Simo is hanging out there.
Real nice view out here, guys. Met some interesting people, some very cool people too. And they're all hanging out at the Chevy Pavilion.
Yeah, we'll talk about the Chevy Pavilion. This ballpark really, and I think over the past couple of nights, he's done a pretty good job of showing what is going on here around the ballpark. There's where Simo is located.
It's a beautiful venue. Not a bad seat in the house.
Guys, I happen to see a 27 Monroe jersey out here.
Really?
I mean, that's just very humbling. You're just honored that someone thinks enough of you to buy your jersey and wear it here to the ballpark.
Rod, you see a lot of number 12s, and not only at home, but around the league, too, man.
Yeah, every now and then. Humbling, isn't it? It is humbling, man, especially for a guy that didn't play.
Yeah, I think we should.
Guys,
is it all right? I think I'm going to go down and surprise him.
That'd be
kind
great.
of talk to him.
Well, ain't that the same jersey you told me to bring from home today? For him to put on?
You would.
Simo, that's a great idea, man. Surprise that dude. That'd be funny.
And sign it. Where's your Sharpie at?
2-2 on Peter Borges, and he fouls it off. Borges had a triple to lead things off, or actually it came with 1 out in the third. He eventually scored. Rays briefly had a 2-1 lead, and then the Tigers erupt for 5 in the fourth. Souza, then Dickerson to follow against Norris. Little chopper. Gonna have to hurry on the charge. Iggy, quick throw in time. Nice play.
Iglesias not only has the very quick feet, and he's always in a good athletic position, but he has that fast glove, and he comes in and he makes this do-or-die play with the glove and gets it to the throwing hand in a hurry and throws accurately across the diamond. Look at him just flip that ball over to the throwing hand. He is very acrobatic at the shortstop position.
Just lightning quick hands.
I hope he wins a Gold Glove this year. He sure is playing like he wants to win one.
Iggy last year was a finalist, and he's been putting on a show this year.
I mean, he is making one highlight play after another one.
Here is Steven Souza Jr. That's in the air to shallow center field. And it's going to be caught by Iglesias on a tremendous play.
Oh, my goodness.
I don't believe he just caught that ball.
Look at Justin Upton looking at him.
Look at Norris.
No one can believe it.
How in the world did he get there?
He's getting a standing ovation here from the fans on that play.
Nobody, and I mean nobody, makes that play better than Iglesias.
Wow.
I just love the way that he just turns and he runs to a spot where he thinks the ball is going to come down at. He's already seen both the center fielder and the left fielder. He knows neither one of those guys can get there, and he just makes an unbelievable play. Look at the look by Jay Up, though, at him, though. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, Jay Up's like, how did you make that play?
Jay Up gave him that look like, boy, you know you need to stop.
So Iglesias on a do-or-die charge play throws the guy out and then runs about a block and a half.
He is winning
to left center field to make a great play.
He is winning games with his glove this year.
Well, guys, I have found my man. I am hanging out down in left field. Was at the Chevy Pavilion, looked down, and there's a 2-7 Monroe jersey. And I've got the man. What's your name, sir?
Matt.
Matt. Matt, what made you want to buy Craig Monroe's jersey?
Just admired your play, and I had to have a SEMO jersey. I've been wearing it every game I'd come here.
Well, I'm very honored that you would think enough of me to buy my jersey. That was super cool for me to see that here tonight. So no, it was awesome. So guys, see, even us, we get big smiles. We get excited when we see these things.
Yeah.
We're just human.
Outstanding. You ought to bring a Sharpie out next time. That ball's going to carry the wall. Jay Up! Oh, man!
Everybody's making plays.
Look at Daniel Norris. He's like, I am not worthy of this.
These boys are flashing some leather tonight.
What a play by Jay Up.
Look at him elevate.
Iglesias with a stupendous play. Two of them, actually. And then Jay Up. You might have to wait a while to see 3 better plays in one single inning than what we just saw there by the Tigers. 2 great plays by Iglesias and a leaping catch by Upton in the left.
It still has his crowd buzzing.
And it should. Just the look on Norris's face, man. He was just standing there after that Upton catch going, I don't believe this. He's gotten a lot of help.
Norris is like, I should let him hit the ball a little bit more often.
There's a ball up and into Avila.
This was a home run right here he brought back. This ball's over the fence.
Yeah, that's a homer.
That's the second time we've seen Justin make a play like this at Comerica Park. He made one last year here. I believe it was the opening weekend series.
How hard is that, Rod, when you make that jump, but then when you snag the baseball, but your arm actually hits the top of the fence to hold on to the ball and snatch it back?
I think the key for him is he didn't get too close to the wall, and he was able to elevate. Then once he was able to make that catch, because of the padding out there, it did not jar the ball loose.
There's a base hit to right field for Avila.
Avila's having an outstanding day. He has made a tremendous defensive play here today, along with the plays that Iglesias and Upton have made, and he's homered and singled. It's been a wonderful day so far for Alex.
So the Tigers pick up with a left off in the 4th. They batted around and scored 5 times. Here comes Cabrera. Miguel with a walk and a strikeout. Man, breaking ball that Miggy just swatted at. 0-1.
I don't know if Miggy took a poor swing or not, but I can promise you this: if Ramirez decides to go back to that same pitch thinking that Miguel can't hit it, and Miggy might just find a gap somewhere.
Pulled on the ground and through into left field, a base hit. Avila hits the bag at second. He's coming to third. And he is in there safely. Throw goes back into second, and the Tigers have 2 men on.
It's been a while since we've seen the Tigers play with this kind of energy. Not only the defensive plays they made here, but the tag up by Alex Presley last half inning, going from first to second. And then you've got Avila right here running right in the face of the left fielder Borges on that base hit by Miguel Cabrera. Check out Avila. Right in the face. And that allowed Miguel to get to second base.
Well, that kind of says something on what they think about Borges' arm, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah. And the Tigers are hustling.
Intentional walk to J.D. Martinez. They are loaded up now. And here is Upton. Bases loaded, nobody out. Upton hit a drive to center field that was misplayed by Smith. Double and an RBI for J-Up. In there, a strike, 0-1.
And J-Up still sitting on that off-speed pitch. He already has 5 grand slams in his major league career. Number 6 will just bust this one wide open here tonight.
He hit the pesky pole in Boston Sunday for a grand slam, which gives him a slam with 4 different teams.
I was thinking about that. When you hit a ball like that, he almost has to call pole. Remember back in the day when you hit the backboard, you called glass?
No.
You do that, man. You got to call pole.
That thing did hit pretty hard, man. Granny. Checked it low.
Back in the day when you're playing on Saturday and you just make one of those lucky shots and it goes off the backboard and you got to say glass, you know what I mean, or the boys that get on you.
Tigers have 6 runs on 8 hits, 2-5-0 for the Rays.
Don't get greedy, J-Up. Get a strike.
Line to left field, that is going to get down, a base hit. Avila scores. Cabrera scores. It is a 2-run single, and the Tigers are pouring it on.
J-Up got the off-speed pitch that he was looking for, but he got the bat out in front a little bit too far, and because of that, he had that top spin once the ball got in the left field. Usually Justin Upton gets that back spin and that carry, which allows him to hit the ball out of the ballpark.
Kevin Rand making sure that Cabrera is okay.
And Miggy looks like he might be done for the night.
He's gathering his bats.
Yep.
There's a strike call. Tigers now lead at 8-2.
And Miggy scored a couple of runs on a walk. They give him a double or a single on that ball, you know, to left field.
For Cabrera, that was a double.
That was a double.
Yep.
Thank you.
0-1 on Castellanos. Nicholas a 2-run double in his last at bat. Well, Ramirez being left in there to take a beat. And now we get some activity. Pruitt, the right-hander, beginning to heat up. Look out. That'll sizzle back toward the crowd.
Man, in their dugout, I believe. That thing came whistling in their dugout. You can see their manager, Kevin Cash, talking about that thing whistling right over his head.
1-2 on Castellanos. There is still nobody out in this inning. Tigers got 5 in the 4th. They've added 2 more here in the 5th. And there's still nobody out. Eight 2 Tigers after they trailed 2-1 in this game. There you go. Fouled away. So Castellanos has been picking it up lately now. He's hit safely in 13 of his last 14 contests. It's turning into a very scenic ballpark here. He's got the sun starting to set. There's some sunshine out in center field off the buildings. Gorgeous scene. Rolled toward third, foul. Inning started with a single by Avila, a double by Cabrera, an intentional walk to JD, and then Upton is knocked in 2. Ramirez is up to 73 pitches, but man, the last 2 innings have been a stress fest for him. He has been from the stretch almost exclusively.
And Tigers have had a lot of quality plate appearances against Ramirez here tonight. He pitched a good game against them back in April. It was 5 innings. He had 5 strikeouts in that game. He beat the Tigers. And today, they've been all over everything that he's thrown up there.
Two and two.
It's been a lengthy at bat here for Nicholas. Willie Horton statue.
I'll tell you what, it's the day that Willie's got to be proud of this offense. The way they're swinging the bats.
Heard Willie's a little under the weather.
Is he?
Yeah, Willie, if you're watching, we're thinking about you. As always.
Popped up. Shallow right field. Souza comes charging in. Who wants it? It's going to be the second baseman, Robertson. First out of the inning. Hey, vote today, vote tomorrow, vote Tigers for your 2017 All-Stars. The Insurance MLB All-Star Game ballot. Vote at tigers.com/vote. Catch all the excitement of the 88th Major League Baseball All-Star Game presented by MasterCard. July 11th, live on Fox. And you and I and Simo had a chance to go down to Campus Martians today.
Yeah, we did our part today.
Cadillac Square, helping fans vote.
Met a lot of nice folks down there. Nice area, man, to go down and people watch, have a nice lunch.
It was hot. Nice sunny day.
Downtown, man, a couple of years is going to be off the chain. Going to be a lot of stuff to do down here.
Strike one at Presley. Now that's quite a view.
A couple lovebirds up on top of the parking lot. The structure up there.
Chased. 0-2 on Presley. It's been a kind of a weird game for Ramirez. Gave up a leadoff home run to Kinsler. Then he retired 9 straight. And the roof caved in with that 5-run fourth. Right back to the mound. Knocked down by Ramirez. He'll get Presley at first base.
That hit him in the back of the leg, I think. And Kevin Cash going to stroll out to the mound along with the head athletic trainer to check on Ramirez.
Ramirez is probably saying, look, I'm not hurting as much as my ERA is right now. Back of the leg. You're going to take him out of the game. So that'll be it for Erasmo Ramirez. The Rays will be going to the bullpen here. So Wallside Windows pitching change. We'll return.
Bank game summary. The Tigers have erupted for 7 runs in the last 2 innings. Alex Avila got it started with an opposite field home run. Justin Upton, he chipped in with an absolute missile over the head of the center fielder for a double and an RBI. Castellanos Also got in the act with a base hit, and also driving in a couple of runs down the left field corner. Upton, he wasn't done there. In the 5th inning, another knock by Justin Upton with a couple of runners aboard, and Justin now has driven in 3, and the Tigers lead the Tampa Bay Rays 8-2.
Gorgeous night here as we check out our game summary. Norris 5 innings, 5 hits, couple of earned runs, and 7 big punch outs. Avila's having a big night, so is Jay Up with the glove and the bat. And the Rays now have brought in Austin Pruitt, a right-hander.
And Pruitt's got a decent arm, average fastball about 91. He'll get up to 93, 94. He loves to cut the fastball, lots of cutters. He'll also throw you a curveball and a changeup. 6.59 ERA in 16 games so far this year for Pruitt.
Here's McCann with 2 outs, 2 men on. And James looks at a strike on the outer edge, 0-1. Sac fly RBI in his last at bat. Tigers have scored the last 7 runs in this game. Ground ball to short, and Beckham has it there in the dirt, and he throws it away. 2 more runs will score. Martinez and Upton are in, and McCann goes to second. They played some poor defense last night, and that's a routine play to Beckham that he threw in the dirt.
That is now the 8th error that the youngster Tim Beckham has made, and from the shortstop position. He had plenty of time and just fires the ball over to first base, and Logan Morrison can't help him. That should have been an easy pick for Morrison. I mean, I hate to say it, but that ball right there should have been picked by Logan. The error will go to the shortstop, though.
The Rays have committed their 50th error of the year as Ramirez heads back into the clubhouse. 10-2. Tigers now have an 8-run lead. Iggy looks at a ball inside.
That is something the Rays had always historically done well. They always had really good pitching, and they always caught the baseball. I mean, they'd have really good defensive teams, but not so much the last couple of years.
Fielding percentage is toward the bottom of the American League this year. Inside to Iglesias, 2-0. Swinging on 2-0, bangs it to center. Here comes McCann to score. That's an RBI hit for Iglesias. And the onslaught continues, 11-2.
Got Kevin Cash is scratching his head.
Tigers, for the 2nd time in as many innings, are sending 9 men to the plate. Kinsler 1 for 3 with a homer. Playing to pull on the infield. Ball 1. Throwing error by Beckham, scores 2, and then a hit by Iglesias scores another. Talk about making good use of your hits. 11 runs on 10 Tigers hits.
And lots of extra base damage done today by the boys.
Popped up. See if it stays in play. Morrison will not get there. Everybody's got at least one with the exception of McCann, but he has driven in one. Couple of 5 spots. 2-1. So Daniel Norris, the recipient not only of 11 runs in this game, but some spectacular defense behind him. And he's done the rest with 7 strikeouts. Good, missed again. 3-1.
It's been an exciting ball game, and with all the defensive plays that have been made, and the crowd has gotten into it. The offense has had some quality at bats. Good base running.
And a strike called, and Kinsler can't believe it.
Well, as a hitter, you work so hard to get yourself into that 3-1 count. And then you're looking for a fastball. You're looking for a fastball in one zone, and you take what you think is ball 4, and the home plate umpire gives the pitcher a strike.
Runner going on 3-2, popped him up. Morrison at first base. That'll finally end the inning. Tigers bat around again, score 5 more runs. Tigers baseball tonight presented by Bell Tire.
The game break brought to you by Jeep. Well, that's a pretty picture. And now Daniel Norris, who wears all this pressure for himself to be absolutely perfect, you'd think, can take some big deep breaths and relax a little bit.
Well, he's taking some deep breaths for sure right now, but he's also got to remember that he still has to pitch, and he has to keep the Tampa Bay Rays off balance with some good fastballs and changeup mix. But I love what I'm seeing from this offense. They are putting on a laser show tonight.
We're looking forward to the post-game coverage, which will include fireworks, by the way, guys, as we send it back to you.
A lot of fireworks going on in game today, Jonathan.
Longoria, the batter, looks at a strike, and the count is 1 ball and 1 strike on Evan. Taylor Featherston has moved to the on-deck circle, so he's going to bat for Morrison, it appears. Seems like ages ago that the Rays had a 2-1 lead. It's been all Tigers since. That's going to slap foul down the right field line. Longoria with a count of 1-2.
Tigers with 5 in the 4th and also 5 in the 5th inning.
And 3 sparkling plays in that 5th. It'll bounce in. 2 balls, 2 strikes. I think what Simo said, Rod, certainly rings true. I mean, you've got yourself a big lead here, but you can't take your foot off the gas pedal here.
No, you can't. And you have to continue to use all of your pitches. You just can't get caught trying to throw fastballs because you've got a 9-run lead. You have to continue to mix them all up. And that's an outstanding fastball. That's 8 strikeouts for Daniel, isn't it?
That's season high. Well, ties season high.
I don't know why, but I had a feeling he'd do well here today. 1, the Rays struggle against left-handers, and 2, Daniel is going to start to get past that 5th inning. He's pitching into the 6th here today. And with his stuff, fastball mid-90s, good breaking balls, and a good changeup. And his mound presence. I mean, there's no reason why Daniel can't get into the 6th and the 7th every time he goes out there.
This is the 7th time the Tigers have scored 10 or more runs this season. 1 ball, no strikes on Taylor Featherston. He'll drive one to left field. That'll drop in front of Upton. Pinch hit single for Featherston. Hey, tomorrow kick off Father's Day weekend with Major League Baseball on FS1 and Fox. 7 Longoria and the Rays take on Miguel Cabrera and your Tigers on FS1. Then the Cubs battle the Pirates at 8 in your local station, or you can watch it live on FS Go.
You might as well bring Dad to the ballpark on Sunday. It's a good Father's Day gift.
There's a line drive, caught on a leap, and a throw to first is in time.
Nice stretch by Avila. Magnificent play by Ian.
Tigers with another spectacular defensive play. Daniel Norris is really getting helped out, this time by Kinsler. And that'll end the inning. No runs, a hit, nobody left, and another spectacular play.
Encounter the last time Avila was up, he singled, but before that he homered the opposite way for his 10th home run of the season. That's the 4th home run Avila has hit to left field this year. A lot of power in that direction. That young lady's got a busy sign.
Avila was all over it.
I did see his name on there.
Big nights all the way around for the Tigers offensively. 11 runs on 10 hits tonight.
You just like the fact that each guy continues to have great plate appearances. No one's giving away at bats despite having a big lead. Avila has constantly got himself into these kinds of hitting counts all year long as Michael Martinez takes over at 3rd. Taylor Featherstone, he takes over at 1st.
Two-0 is a ball. 3-0 on Avila.
Oh, check that out.
The future, Miss Alex Avila.
I love it. That's her guy right there.
Yeah, yeah.
Having a big night, single homer. Couple of runs scored. And Avila as well, Rod, probably made a play that's going to get lost in the shuffle tonight. That's throwing Smith out at home plate.
That was a tremendous play with great court awareness by Avila.
It would have made a 2-1 game 3-1 at the time, but threw him out, and then it's been all Tigers since.
That seemed to give the Tigers some momentum because he led off the 4th inning with a solo home run the opposite way.
Got him, strike 3. Avila thought he had a walk, but he's called out. 1 away. Here's Chevrolet's most dependable player, Miguel Cabrera, highest career batting average among players with 450 or more homers in Major League history.
And a lot of black and white photos. When they have to dust off the photos of Ted and Babe, you're in some special company. Stan Musial.
Looked like earlier in the game that Cabrera was going to come out of the game. He was collecting all his bats in the dugout. There's a foul back out of play.
It did look like he was leaving the game.
He was heading down to the clubhouse. But here he is. Double and a walk from Miggy. 2 runs scored. And a strike called, and Cabrera's out of there. So Pruitt now with back-to-back strikeouts. We'll bring up J.D. Martinez. Martinez has scored a couple of runs. Ball 1. Pruitt played his high school ball at the Woodlands High School, which has turned out some talent. Paul Goldschmidt, Jameson Tyone, Kyle Drabeck went there. Doug's son. There's a drive into left, base hit. Another knock for the Tigers.
Every time J.D. Martinez makes contact with the ball, it is just a loud sound coming off his bat these days. I mean, I can't think of anybody hitting the ball any harder than J.D. these days. That's a hanging slider. And Pruitt's lucky that that one didn't carry out of the ballpark. Great timing. Great concentration. Really nice. And ball-to-bat skills.
Here's Upton.
And Lloyd's got to be a little happy about the last couple nights. Walk-off win last night. Explosion of 11 runs tonight.
He will sleep easy this evening.
Hitting coach is a thankless job because you've got about 13 players that you're dealing with on a daily basis, and very seldom are all 13 swinging the bat very well at the same time. So you're always down there teaching. You're always down there trying to get guys confident about what they're doing.
One and one on Upton.
I still got Justin Upton hitting a home run today.
That'll bounce in. 2 balls and 1 strike. Well, Jay Up this year continues to lead the Tigers with 13 home runs.
And you can just kind of tell the way that he's taking pitches that are in the strike zone, not moving a whole lot, not lunging a whole lot, just has really good balance right now, recognizing pitches very well right now.
Here's the 2-1.
See that take right there? And you can tell when a guy is kind of seeing the ball very well. He sees it come out of the hand of Pruitt and makes up his mind very early he's not going to swing at it. Watching it all the way into the glove.
And there's ball 4, so J-Up gets a walk. A couple of strikeouts for Pruitt, then a single and a walk. That'll bring up Castellanos. Nick doubled in 2. That was back in the 4th. The two teams ahead of the Tigers in the Central both playing each other tonight, and that is Cleveland in Minnesota to start a series there. So the Tigers seemingly will gain on one of those teams. Ball 1. Probably too early to worry about that standing stuff. I mean, the Tigers right now just got to get to 500 and start taking off.
Yeah, they do have to get to 500, but it's still nice to talk about, especially when you have a team like Minnesota that's in first place, and no one expects them to stay there. You've got Cleveland just one game over, and everybody had Cleveland going back to the World Series again this year. There were a lot of experts that thought that Cleveland was a class of the American League. Still a lot of baseball to be played.
I think you lose sight of that sometimes when you look at the standings and your team is as they were yesterday, 4 games under 500, yet it's only the middle of June.
I thought that and Leland made up a great point when he was here. And talking about Zimmerman a couple of days ago, pitched 8 innings, Verlander 7 yesterday, then you've got Norris going out there today. Once you get the rotation pitching well and going through a couple of turns and putting up lots of zeros, that's when you can win 11 or 14 games, and that's what it's going to take for this team to really start to gain some traction and some confidence.
Now the 1-1 slice to right field. Souza on the run, not gonna get it. Fair ball. Martinez scores. Upton coming around third. He will score. And Castellanos with a stand-up triple. They're not letting up.
And Tigers beating up on the Rays tonight like they stole something. And it's a fastball down, just flipped the opposite way by Nicholas. And Souza, the right fielder, is a good defender, but he gets over there and the ball hits off the dirt and then bounces around and rolls around the 330 sign, and before he can pick it up, Nicholas Castellanos has driven in 2 and standing on third base with another triple.
A 4 RBI night for Castellanos. Tigers a 13-2 lead. Presley 1 for 3. Singled in the 4th inning. On the ground to the second baseman. Robertson backs up to make the play and throws him out. Tigers pad the lead with 2 more. Nick drives in a pair. The Tigers have been pouring it on tonight. They have 12 hits against Tampa's 6, and here are the numbers on Daniel Norris.
Well, he's pitching into the 7th inning here tonight, and that's one of the things that we talked about at the top of the show, that they wanted to see Daniel limit the amount of pitches that he throws within the inning, and so far he's done a pretty nice job of that. And for him to get through 7 innings here tonight would be big.
Changes defensively for the Tigers as Norris goes back to work and delivers up high. You got Romine now playing second base, Machado at short. Mikey Matuk in right field. 2-0 on Malik Smith. Norris allowing 1 in the 3rd, 1 in the 4th, and that's it. 8 strikeouts tonight, ties his season high. In the air to right field, sending Matuk on his horse, still going. He's not going to get there. All the way to the warning track. It's going to be an easy triple here for Smith. And the ball hit him in the back as he slid into third base. 3-bagger for Malik Smith. His 2nd hit tonight.
Once that ball went up in the air, and I took one look out into right center field, and I could see where Matuk was, and I could see where Presley was, and neither guy was going to get there. Then it was just a matter of time of watching Smith run, and he's got tremendous speed. He's flying around the bases, and once the ball gets down, now he knows automatically he's got 3. He doesn't need the help of the third base coach. He's running so fast he almost runs out of his shoes, and it took him 10 seconds from the time he made contact with that ball to get to third base. Just 10 seconds. That's pretty fast.
In your heyday, from home to third, what do you think you?
Probably about 15, 16, yeah.
He can run, to be sure. 1 ball, no strikes on Daniel Robertson.
And I was a big dude, but I wasn't slow by any stretch of the imagination.
2-0. Warwick Soppold, haven't seen him in a bit. He's warming up.
That's a good thing because he's the long guy, and usually he comes in when the score's kind of gotten out of hand real early. So it's not all bad when we don't see Warwick Soppold real early.
Whistle down the third base line, and Smith hit the deck.
Watch your lips. That's why they tell you when you're on third base to make sure when you take your walking lead down third base, you want to make sure you stay in foul territory. Because if that ball hits you in fair territory, you're out, and it's going to hurt. But you got to stay in foul territory.
If that ball hit him, he would have been out all right, knocked out.
No doubt, because he's a little fella.
Now the 2-1. McCann able to smother it, save a run. 3-1. It's an even 100 now for Daniel. So progress in terms of lasting deeper into the game. He threw 96 in his last start, but lasted only 5 innings. Strike called.
Big inning here for Daniel. He's at 100. Very seldom does Brad let him go above 100. But I'd like to see him kind of pitch out of this jam here. I don't know if Brad's going to let him do it, but I'd like to see him do it.
Ground ball left side, base hit.
They might have to go get him.
It'll bring in a run. Robertson has his 2nd RBI single of the game. 13-3 ball game. That's going to be it.
Daniel will get a real nice round of applause here tonight. Big crowd here on Friday night.
Soppold will be coming in as Ausmus makes his way out to the mound. And the crowd already sensing that they want to give Mr. Norris a nice round of applause. Oh, wait a minute. Brad says don't go anywhere. Okay, now go. So Norris gets a nice round here.
Well deserved.
Wall side windows pitching change. We'll be back.
800 Call Sam call of the game. I think James McCann led Daniel Norris beautifully today. Lots of breaking balls really early in the game, which kept the Tampa Rays off the fastball. 8 strikeouts for Daniel in this contest, and you could see the break on the breaking ball. It was dirty today. He kept most of them at the bottom of the strike zone, but every now and then he would throw one up, and he was freezing a lot of these Rays hitters tonight.
6+, allowing 8 hits, 3 runs, and he equals his season high with the 8 punch-outs.
And the 1 walk. I mean, that is really impressive as well. He took some steps forward tonight. The sky's the limit for Daniel Norris. He has got an unbelievable wealth of talent.
13-3. Tigers have a comfy lead here in the 7th inning. Warwick Sapol takes over. Sucre, the batter. Ball 1 to Jesus Sucre. He has fanned a couple of times those at bats, though, against the starter Norris. 10th game now for Sapol. 2-0. You just get the sense Daniel really wanted to get through that 7th inning. With the leadoff triple followed by the single, and that was it.
And Daniel should feel really good about his outing here tonight.
Two and one.
Tigers bullpen is not in bad shape by any stretch of the imagination. And Zimmerman a couple of days ago, he pitched 8 innings. Verlander 7. Norris pitches into the 7th here today. Bullpen's fresh.
Here's a ground ball to third. Castellanos cuts it off. 1 and a double play. 5-4-3, swinging around the horn. 2 gone.
It's a nice feed here by Castellanos because he's throwing off balance and he's throwing off that right foot, but yet an accurate feed to Andrew Romine and an easy turn over to Avila.
Alvarado, the left-hander, the lone left-hander in the bullpen for the Rays, warming up.
He throws hard, man. He throws 100 miles an hour.
There is ball 1 outside. Peter Borges, the batter. Borges earlier tonight, a triple and a run scored.
Borges went to spring training this year with the Chicago White Sox and was traded in the final week of spring training to the Tampa Bay Rays. Borges has been with several teams, got good speed, good defender, playing left field here tonight.
Angels for 4 years, couple of years to the Cardinals. 1 ball, 1 strike on Peter Borges.
And Borges grew up in the game of baseball. His dad's a scout, longtime scout.
They will appeal, didn't go. Jerry Meals down at first base, that he held. 2-1 on Borges. Two at 2. Tigers trying to get to 2 under the 500 mark with a win tonight. Let's look at the Rays box score. A Tiger victory, and they would be 32-34.
And Cleveland's beating all up on the Minnesota Twins tonight, 8-0 right now in the 5th.
That's in mini, right?
Yeah.
Ground ball to short. Machado has it there. Borges is out. Inning is over. They get a run. And coming up, the Consumers Energy 7th inning stretch. Detroit is brought to you by the Sam Bernstein Law Firm, official legal services sponsor of Fox Sports Detroit. Bell Tire, for tires that auto service. Everybody needs a Bell Tire guy. And by Chevrolet, the most awarded car company 3 years in a row. Great night for baseball here in downtown Detroit. Even better night for the Tigers bats. They have exploded this evening. They lead 13-3. And they'll go to work now in the bottom of the 7th inning. And they will face a new pitcher, the aforementioned Jose Alvarado.
He's got a big arm, and I mean big arm. His fastball, average fastball, is 98 miles an hour, which means that he can reach triple digits. He also throws a curveball and an occasional changeup.
James McCann will be the first man to face him. First one comes in at 96.
He's just getting warmed up.
Alvarado has reached a max velocity this year of 100.5 miles an hour. And the last Rays lefty to do that was Jake McGee a couple of years ago. McGee was dealt over to the Rockies in the Dickerson trade. Two 2-0 the count on McCann. Heater at 98, throw it by him. Machado on deck. Way outside. Everything upper 90s here from Alvarado. $13 runs allowed by the Rays this year, the most in any game. Their previous high was 12 against Seattle. Another good offensive team. 3-1 pitch. Full count on McCann. Knocked in a run tonight with a sac fly. McCann trying to join every other Tigers starter in getting at least one hit in this game, but he comes into this at bat facing a guy throwing upper 90s from the left side. 3-2. Broke his bat, soft line drive caught. One gone.
Here's the big story of tonight's contest. If you haven't seen this game, the Tigers have played one outstanding game defensively, starting with McCann real early, throwing out Tim Beckham at second base, a beating with a real nice play on an attempted steal of home. Iglesias, he just has tremendous range in every direction. And how about J-Up? Not to be outdone, he pulls back a home run, and Ian Kinsler also makes a really nice play. So Tigers, from a defensive standpoint, playing one of their better games in recent memory for me.
Machado, the batter, takes strike one. Can't really remember a game in which they made as many great plays as they have here.
A lot of heads-up plays. The play by Avila may be the most heads-up play, because that caught the guy trying to steal home plate, which was Malik Smith.
0-2 now on Machado. Dixon at 309 this year. His average started to perk up in the month of June, got some more reps. Here's the 0-2. Ooh, ugly looking swing there, strike three.
That was a change piece.
Danny Farquhar warming up. Romine, the batter, his first at bat of the night. Fouled away.
Half of the Tigers' hits tonight, 6 of the 12 have been for extra bases.
Yeah, a couple of homers, 3 doubles, and a triple. Castellanos with a couple of extra base hits.
One. These two clubs have 2 more games before the Tigers head out west. After the game on Sunday, they'll be flying to Seattle and then a 3-game series next weekend against San Diego.
And Brad gets to go home to San Diego, sleep in his own bed. He may even get up in the morning, go catch a couple of waves.
You gonna go with him?
No, not this time. I didn't bring my wetsuit.
My wetsuit.
Now, have you ever? You lived in Southern California for a minute. Have you ever? Have you ever gone out and done any surfing?
I'm going to admit something to you here. I'm afraid of the water.
No way.
In fact, my wife calls me Jacques Cousteau. That's a joke. 3-1 the count on Romine. That's in there, 3-2.
You don't see many left-handers coming out of any bullpen that throw 100 miles an hour. Chapman would be one of the obvious choices. Aroldis Chapman of the Yankees.
Ground ball right side. And the race to first is won by Alvarado. That'll end the inning. Tigers go 1-2-3. Tigers baseball tonight presented by Bell Tires. As we go to the 8th inning, they've got him 12-8 as well. Been a good night for the Tigers. Don't forget the fireworks show tonight, and it'll be on Tigers Live postgame.
It's one of the best firework displays that we see in any ballpark on Friday and Saturday nights.
Yeah, the crowd here this evening is going to certainly enjoy a great show, which is coming up following the game this evening. Meanwhile, Warwick Soppold goes back to work in the 8th inning. Soppold will have the top of the lineup. Steven Souza Jr. leads it off. Single, he's also knocked in a run. And Soppold starts him off with a slider strike.
Soppold just throws strikes. You have to love a guy that comes in And even though the fastball's not in the mid-90s, it's 92, 93 with a little breaking ball and a changeup, he comes in and attacks the hitters. Does not beat himself with walks.
1-1. And it's kind of a thankless position that he is in, because typically, as you mentioned earlier, he'll come in games when his team might be behind. He's got to chew up innings.
Right. And so many times already this year.
Fly ball to center field. Presley. 1 out.
When he has come into games, he's been able to keep it close enough for the team to come back and win.
Absolutely. Time now for the AARP Getting to Know Corey Dickerson as he strolls in. Drafted by the Rockies in 2010. He's got 27 multi-hit games this year.
When the Rays made the deal for him a couple of years ago when they got him from Colorado, there was a lot of people out there that did not think that his offensive game would translate away from Coors Field in Denver, where he played his home games. Anybody that follows the game of baseball, you all know, and the Coors Field in Denver is a hitter-friendly ballpark. And a lot of times, Mario, I think the guys that played there, they didn't get the credit that they really deserved from playing in that particular ballpark. Larry Walker comes to mind. Larry Walker was one of the best baseball players I've ever seen play the game, and he was good for about 10 years. Todd Helton, as you mentioned, never got his due. He was winning batting titles.
I agree with that. I think that, yes, there probably is an advantage to playing there or Baltimore, and maybe does affect your stats a little bit. But, you know, what Dickerson is doing now with the Rays is kind of vindicating him.
And he's doing it in a very difficult division. He's doing it in the American League East.
Little chopper left side of the infield. Running scoop there from Machado. 2 up, 2 down. Soppold has retired all 4 batters that he has faced. He's also gotten a double play ball. Here is Martinez, his first at bat. Michael played last night, was 0 for 2. Sliced foul. Tigers have a chance to really make the most of this homestand after dropping 2 to the Diamondbacks. If they can win this series here against the Rays, they're on their way to winning the first 2 games in the set. Another foul back out of play. Now 0-2 on Martinez. You saw him smack his front leg there. What was he trying to tell himself after that last swing?
And stay back. A lot of times guys will try to tell themselves after they do something in a particular swing, they'll pat one part of their body to turn their shoulder in or pat the front leg. It tells them a little friendly reminder to stay in there a little bit longer, stay closed a little longer.
Oh, 2 on Martinez. Soppold looking for the 1-2-3-8. Martinez took over for Longoria, who had 3 at-bats in the game, and then when the score got lopsided, he got the rest of the night off. Michael time with the Indians, Red Sox, Phils. He's been around.
And Brad has also taken the liberty of getting a couple of his veterans off their feet too. Kinsler out of the game, and JD Martinez also out of the game.
In the air to left center field, and it's Presley who makes the catch. 1-2-3. Soppold looking good tonight under the Tigers' pen. On our way to the bottom of the 8th. All Tigers tonight. Comerica Bank, a part of Detroit and the community since 1849. Your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDetroit.com. See why Chevy drives the Motor City. And by Wallside Windows. We can do that. We are the factory. Nighttime settling in here in the Motor City. All Tigers tonight. They lead as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. It's going to be Avila to lead things off in a 13-3 game. Alex has homered in this game, a solo shot the other way. Two of the 12 Tigers hits in this contest. And Avila looks at a strike.
And doesn't Farquhar and Avila have some kind of history together? Did they play together in college or something like that?
Alabama, maybe, did they?
Was
it
in
high school?
Somewhere. They got some kind of history.
Yeah, I think you're right. He's in the Wallside Windows pitching change. Just swing and a miss.
And Farquhar's got a fastball that gets up to about 94, 95. And he also throws lots of curveballs and lots of changeups.
It wasn't college because Farquhar went to Louisiana Lafayette.
Louisiana Lafayette.
Let's see. He was born in Pembroke Pines, Florida, so it's probably a high school connection. But you're right, though. There is a connection.
Yeah, there's some kind of connection.
Yeah, there you go. Played with Alex Avila, Archbishop McCarthy High School.
Yeah, I knew it was something.
The 0-1. John Hicks getting in at bat here for Miguel Cabrera, called up today for Victor Martinez, placed on the disabled list. He'll roll into third base, gobbled up there by Martinez.
Hicks has performed very well in Toledo and very well up here when he's had the opportunity.
Hey, tomorrow the Tigers will take on these Rays at 4:10, and the first 10,000 fans receive a free Tigers tote bag. If you'd like ticket information, go to Tigers.com. You know the phone number, 866-66-TIGERS. Either way. Daniel Stumpf in the Tigers bullpen. Here's Mikey Matuk. Swings right through a breaking ball, 0-1.
Did you pull any strings to see if you could get us a Michael Fulmer bobblehead?
I haven't tried yet.
You haven't tried yet?
But I'll see what I can do tonight.
Yeah, see what you can do. Because you know some people. I mean, you really know some people.
And they're in high places, too. That's the key.
Yes, indeed.
Ball 1-1. Michael Fulmer, bobblehead night.
It'll be interesting to see how he goes about his business tomorrow night, especially after getting pushed back and then having the MRI with the bursitis in the shoulder.
I'm going to bet that he'll do okay.
Tomorrow's matchup, I might just come down to the ballpark.
Yeah, got Archer tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Here is the upcoming matchup presented by Wallside Windows. And speaking of Mr. Fulmer and Mr. Archer, here are the numbers.
Look at all the strikeouts for Archer already this year, 114 of those. And we've got a pitcher, Michael Fulmer, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
But he's only got 60. Archer's got that wipeout slider that he throws about 70% of the time with 2 strikes.
It's going to be an extra base hit. It'll go to the wall. Matuk is on the run. And he'll hold with a double. 2-out, 2-base hit.
Yeah, Matuk played with the Rays last year, so and that double coming against his former teammates. It always makes you feel good when you do something special against your former team.
Mikey now renewing acquaintances out there at second.
Yeah.
comes the guy, Jay, up. Last chance for him to hit that home run you predicted. Be something if he hit one out right here, man. He's got himself a single, a double, and a walk. And a swing and a miss, 0-1. Tigers tonight 6 for 11 with runners in scoring position. Oh, and 2. Big night for Upton. Double, single, walk, 3 runs scored, 3 RBIs. Here are the RISP numbers. That's why the Tigers have 13 runs.
It may as well make it a little bigger.
Fouled away. Castellanos waiting on deck. This one, for all intents and purposes, was decided in the 4th and 5th when the Tigers scored 5 in each frame.
Nice outing by Daniel Norris. Uh-oh.
That'll go foul down the left field line. I saw that thing hang up there, man. I'm going, he's going to hit it out.
I told you before the game he was going to get a hanging curveball. There it was. I saw it come out of his hand.
I would have put my headsets down and just walked out of the booth.
Here it is.
Look at this thing, man.
I said as soon as it came out of his hand, I said, uh-oh. Just too quick.
Oh, man. Bouncing ball left side of the infield. Martinez cuts it off, and no homer tonight for Jay Up, but a great night nonetheless. We go to the 9th. And Craig Monroe with a 1-800-CALL SAM update. And here, usually, we talk about the one big thing we're going to talk about in the Tigers Live postgame show. This is one really big thing, one all-encompassing thing.
Yes, it is, Keith. It was nice to see the boys put it all together tonight. We're solid pitching, good defense, and a laser show from the offense. But I'm going to tell you on postgame what was so impressive about the boys' offense tonight.
Also in postgame, fireworks. We're going to carry all of them here at Comerica Park, and it is always an impressive display. But now, back up to the impressive Mario Impemba and Rod Allen.
All right, John Keating, thank you very much. Daniel Stumpf is on now for the Tigers, trying to get the final 3 outs.
And Stumpf pitching in his 6th game as a Tiger. He's logged just a couple of innings. ERA sitting right at 2.
Featherston will lead things off. He looks at a strike. Also, stay tuned for the postgame as our Matt Shepard will catch up with Justin Upton.
who had a big game here tonight. A lot to talk about in this one, and believe you me, it's all going to be positive.
Tonight's game was one of the better games the team has played this year. And not only from an offensive standpoint, but the way they ran the bases. They did not give up any of their at-bats here tonight, even though they had a huge lead. Guys continued to grind it out. And it's probably, for me, the best defensive game collectively I've seen all season from the boys.
Yeah, I'm with that. Vila made a nice play at first base, throwing out a runner, trying to steal home plate. That was Malik Smith. Chopper to third base. It'll go foul. Iglesias made a couple of sick plays tonight. Upton robbed a homer.
It's ridiculous how well Iglesias is playing shortstop this year. It really is.
"13 runs on 13 hits for the Tigers." Stay tuned to Tigers Live. The fireworks will be on the way, and you'll be able to check those out on the post-game show as well. The 1-2. Featherston hit for Morrison in the 6th and stayed in the game. 3-2 now.
And throw it right down the middle and let him hit it as far as he can.
Stump made his big league debut last year with the Phillies. Swing and a miss. He did throw it right down the middle.
Well, just like we promised you earlier in the game, it's Miller time, and it's brought to you by Miller. Like the Tigers bats really woke up in the 4th inning. It was Avila that led off the 4th inning with an opposite field home run, his 10th home run of the season. And then Justin Upton, he gets into the act, and he's had a big day. Mario well documented that fact. A missile over Smith's head in center field. Castellanos also doubles down in the left field corner to drive in a couple more, and Justin Upton wasn't finished there. He got right back after it in the 5th inning, driving in a couple of more, and that's when the Tigers put this one out of reach.
Tim Beckham, the batter.
Tim Beckham having a real nice year. 282 with 10 home runs. He's finally figured out some things.
I guess in many ways, or in some ways, Beckham was up against it this year. Had it not been for an injury to Duffy, who they thought would be their starting shortstop, Beckham might not have gotten another chance.
Sometimes, man, these high school players, man, so much pressure coming out of high school, especially when you're a #1 draft choice and you play a premium position. You know who else comes to mind as a late bloomer?
Who?
Kid Aaron Hicks, now playing for the Yankees.
That's a good one.
Remember when he was playing for the Minnesota Twinkies?
In the corner it goes, and that ball's off the top of the wall.
Wow.
Beckham is on his way to third. He's going to get in there easily as Matuk gets it back in.
That ball nearly went out of here. Or did
triple.
it go out?
I thought initially it went out.
Well, you got the little man right there telling us exactly where it went.
Yeah, but he's a Tigers fan. If he's pointing to, if it hit where he's pointing to, then it's.
You don't want to lie, do you?
Well, no, that would be a bad message, wouldn't it? But yes. Let's see.
No, it's not a home run.
That's not a home run.
Nope. Yeah, but just to finish that thought on Beckham, I mean, high school player, #1 draft choice, and a lot of pressure comes with that. And the same thing with that kid Aaron Hicks. He really didn't play all that well with the Minnesota Twins, but all of a sudden you give him to the Yankees, and now he's playing outstanding baseball. Ellsbury might not get his job back in center field when he's healthy.
The 0-1. Here's the thing, at least to me, about high school draftees that are high draft choice, #1 picks or first-round picks. I would think, and I don't know this is true, but I would think that it takes that first year just for you to get used to being away from home.
Oh, no doubt about that, especially if you're leaving home for the first time at 17, 18.
And playing pro ball, which is every single day, not just, you know, the short high school season.
That's what makes our left fielder so special, because he was the #1 player drafted in the country as well. And yet this guy got to the big leagues, Justin Upton, when he was like 19 years old, didn't he?
Yeah,
it didn't take him no time.
Well, some guys are just different, I suppose, but not everybody can do it. 2-2 on Malik Smith.
Of course, Justin already had a brother that was playing in professional baseball. I'm sure that helped out.
High ball 3. He had with the Young brothers as well, Delman.
Yep.
And Dimitri Young.
Yeah. A couple of #1 draft choices.
Slap toward left, foul. Smith, man, he just slashes and dashes, doesn't he?
He is taking full advantage of this opportunity that has presented itself to him with Kevin Kiermaier. They're very talented Gold Glove winning center fielder landing on the disabled list. He already has 7 steals in what, 11 or 12 games. That's more than any Tiger has. And Tiger's been playing what, 60 games?
Yeah, that'll tell you something. And he lost him, ball 4. So Smith gets a walk on base for the 3rd time tonight. 2 on, 1 out. Robertson, pretty good game, 2 out of 3, couple of RBIs. Rolled foul, 0-1. Home side of that score sheet gonna be all filled up.
Yeah.
The 0-1. In the air to center. That'll chase Presley back and score a run. Scoring easily is Beckham. And the Rays have their 4th run of the game, 13-4. More importantly, 2 outs. So Robertson, a 3 RBI night.
Yeah, Tigers pitching has been able to keep everybody else quiet with the exception of Robertson. The big boys, especially Dickerson, Morrison.
Here is Sucre, and he'll send a ground ball to second. Should do it. And that's the ball game. A big win tonight for the Tigers. Impressive win. 13-4, your final score. Now we send you to the Coliseum Studios. John Keating standing by with Tigers Live postgame.
All right, Mario, thanks. It should be a happy little edition of Tigers Live. We'll carry the fireworks live here at the ballpark. You'll want to stay tuned for that. It's spectacular. We'll talk of the opposite nature of tonight's game and the Tigers just rolling over the Rays. Daniel Norris with a solid start. We'll visit with Justin Upton, and you'll hear from Brad Ausmus on the complete effort by his team tonight in a 13-4 final. Tigers Live coming right up.